Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't seen the previous part, click the sticker above to catch up. Otherwise, sit back and enjoy the video. Luna said, "Look with the eye of the mind. Learning the mind's eye is more important than anything else. For those who live by wielding the blade, never open your eyes." Jin sat in silence, thinking to himself. The mind's eye is a stage of enlightenment meant for 7-star knights and above. Yet, she's teaching it to me when I'm only a 2-star knight. Moreover, the typical mind's eye relies on scattering aura, but Big Sister Luna doesn't use aura in her training. I don't get it. No, I said that I trusted her. She must have a reason. I'll just focus on training for now. One day, I'll understand this. Later, Luna said, "Great job. You've done well today, little brother. You can head back now." Jin bowed. "Thank you, big sis." Luna thought to herself, "As expected, I knew he'd do well, but he always exceeds my expectations. His concentration and posture are beyond what's expected of a 2-star knight. With his potential, he'll grasp it in just a few years. Keep growing, little brother." At the training grounds, a voice called out, "You've arrived, young master." Jin noticed the tense atmosphere. The man beside him muttered, "They can't help it." "Why?" Jin asked. "Today's sparring is the biggest factor in the total grading. A good performance means a fast track to becoming a guardian knight. That's why everyone's on edge. Moreover, today is especially important for you, young master." Jin raised an eyebrow. "Why is that?" The instructor answered, "Madame Rosa said that if you defeat all of the top 10 cadets today, you'll be promoted to the intermediate training class early next year." Jin's eyes sharpened. "Mother said that? That's good news." He glanced around, his interest peaked. Is Bella in that state again? It wasn't a big deal. Jin was sure Bella wouldn't get expelled, but a little confidence never hurt. The instructor shouted, "Attention, everyone!" The students snapped to attention. Today's sparring will be held in 3 rounds, and you'll change partners each time. Additionally, the top 10 cadets will face young Master Jin in one-on-one matches. "Yes, instructor," the cadets responded in unison. The spars began, with students winning and losing in succession. The instructor observed they're not bad. Jin thought the same. They wouldn't have made it this far if they were weak. "All right, everyone, return to your positions, except for the 10 cadets I selected." The instructor turned to Jin, saying, "Get ready, young master." Jin nodded, gripping his sword. The match began, and with a swift movement, Jin disarmed his opponent with ease. 10 people. The record to beat is 8. I just need to add 2 more. He analyzed his next match. To do that, my main focus should be on her. The instructor called out, "Next, get ready." A girl stepped forward, bowing slightly. "I'll be in your care, young master." She was Meza Milcano, an elite run-candle guardian cadet in the beginner training class. In the future, she would complete her cadet training and immediately become a guardian knight. Meza smirked. "I'd very much like to defeat you today, young master." Jin thought to himself, the match with Meza is the most important one in this test. Aloud, he said, "I'm looking forward to it." Meza lunged first, launching an impressive strike, but Jin blocked it effortlessly. "She's gotten stronger," he noted. "Still, it's not like I can't defeat her." However, the real challenge was still ahead. After Meza, he still had 8 more opponents. Jin launched a flurry of swift, simple strikes, pressuring Meza. She gritted her teeth. Why is he only using basic attacks? Before, he always used a variety of techniques. So why? Then, realization struck her. Is he doing this on purpose? But for what reason? Don't tell me. Does he think I won't be able to defeat him today either? Is he looking down on me? Meza's grip on her sword tightened. "All right," she yelled. "Let's do this, young master." The other cadets watched in shock as the duel intensified. "I can't lose like this again," Meza thought. "This time I'll surpass him." She charged forward, unleashing a powerful overhead strike. Jin deflected it masterfully, striking the exact same spot on her sword. The blade cracked and the tip flew off. Meza stared at her broken weapon in disbelief. How is this possible? Jin calmly placed his sword at her throat. "It was a great fight, Meza Milcano. Also, I don't think I can use this sword anymore." Meza clenched her jaw. No way. Our swords clashed so many times, yet he kept hitting the same exact spot? There isn't a massive difference in our strength or stamina. So did I lose because of accuracy and persistence? Is that even possible? He really is a child of Run Candle. Meza straightened and declared, "Young master, I'll train harder. Next time I will win. I won't just sit around and let him surpass me." Jin smirked, just as I planned. A one-on-one match against all 10 cadets isn't an easy task, but by dominating Meza, I've planted doubt in the others. They'll hesitate, thinking a direct fight against me will be a loss. This next one will be the 10th. I'm glad everything is going as planned. The instructor announced, "Excellent, young master. This will prepare you well for real combat in the intermediate class next year. Congratulations in advance." Jin nodded. "Yes, Garen. Until then, take good care of me." The instructor checked the time. "It's almost lunchtime, so we'll wrap up the morning training here." Jin asked, "How much time until lunch?" "About 10 minutes. "What?" Jin smirked. "I have someone else I want to spar with." The instructor raised an eyebrow. "Who do you have in mind?" Jin turned toward the cadets and shouted, "Bellup Schmidt." Bellup flinched in surprise. "Young master." "Me?" Jin gestured him forward. "Come on out and fight." Bellup hesitated. "I don't know about this." Jin's voice grew firm. "Bellup Schmidt." He pointed his sword at him. "You will never survive and Run Candle that way. Come out and fight me. Now, I'll crush you like a bug." Bellup shakily stepped forward, sword in hand. He thought to himself, "Why does the young master want to fight me? Is it because I'm weak? Is he trying to toughen me up?" Jin called out, "Bellup." "Yes, young master." Bellup responded hesitantly. Jin continued, "I'm exhausted from fighting 10 cadets. Meanwhile, you're fresh. Yet, even in this condition, I'll still be stronger than you. That's why I want to fight you." Bellup's eyes widened. "What? What do you mean?" In an instant, Jin flash-stepped toward him, sword poised to strike. Bellup barely managed to block, but the force of the attack still left him reeling. "Young master, why are you doing this?" he gasped. Jin ignored the question and pressed the attack. Their swords clashed fiercely, neither side relenting. At a standstill, Jin smirked. "You're blocking well." "Thank you," Bellup replied through gritted teeth. Jin suddenly stepped back, dragging his sword along the ground and kicking up a cloud of dust into Bellup's eyes. Seizing the opening, Jin lunged forward, planted a hand on the ground, and swept Bellup's legs out from under him. Bellup hit the ground hard, coughing as he wiped at his stinging eyes. "Young master, why are you doing this to me?" he demanded. Jin's expression darkened. "Did you think I called you here just for a spar? I said I wanted to fight you. In a real battle, I could have killed you just now." His voice was cold. "Get up. I'll only show mercy once." Bellup gripped his sword tightly and forced himself to stand. A golden aura began to flicker around his blade. The other cadets gasped. "That's aura," one of them exclaimed. Bellup's eyes burned with fury as the aura around him intensified. Meza turned to the instructor. "Sir, we have to stop this. The young master could be in danger." Jin cut her off with a sharp order. "Sword instructor Garen Altamaro, this is a direct order. Keep what you see here a secret." The instructor hesitated before nodding. "Understood." Bellup's voice was cold. "Is this really what you want, young master?" Jin's gaze was unwavering. "That's right. If you know how to use aura, don't hold back." Bellup gritted his teeth. "You've made a mistake, young master. If you wanted to fight me, you should have done so before facing 10 others." With that, he lunged, his attack fueled by raw power. Jin braced himself and blocked. His sword vibrated violently in his grip. His sword snapped, and the force sent him skidding backward. I didn't expect him to be at this level, he thought. I already knew Bellup was skilled. He always analyzed his opponent's moves, losing only by the smallest margin in spars. But to think he already knew how to use aura. Bellup lunged again. Jin, recognizing an opening, threw his broken sword aside and struck Bellup's hand mid-swing. Bellup flinched, his grip loosening. Jin seized the moment. In one swift motion, he grabbed Bellup around the neck and dragged him to the ground, locking him in a chokehold. Bellup struggled, gasping as his air was cut off. Jin held him there until the last possible second before releasing him. Belop collapsed, coughing violently. Why did you stop? He rasped. I thought you wanted to go at it for real. Then you should see it through to the end. Jin's expression remained unreadable. Belop glared up at him. Is it fun to toy with people? Of course not. Then why? Jin exhaled. It pains me to push you like this. More than you think. Belop scoffed bitterly. What do you know about me? Why torture me like this? Jin knelt slightly, leveling his gaze with Belop's. Like you said, I don't know you well. But I know one thing. You can only show consideration when you're strong. You're weaker than me, and not to mention more kind than me. I admire that about you. But kindness alone won't let you survive in this world. His voice softened. I hope you become strong enough to protect that kindness. Belop stared at him, speechless. Me and everyone here, we are sorry for being harsh. Belop begins to cry. Meanwhile, in the distance, Gilly, preparing food with the other servants, glanced toward the training ground. Oh my, the training isn't over yet? She asked the instructor. Should we come back later? Jin turned toward her. No, it's fine. You can set it up. Belop, still catching his breath, muttered, You can get your own food today, young master. Jin smirked. All right, I'll even grab your portion today. In the dark, gloomy forest, a voice was heard. So Jin did that. Khan, the head knight, responded, Yes, Lord Patriarch. The Patriarch, sitting cross-legged, laughed heartily. I see. So that's his creed. While still walking the path of a dominator, he looks after the weak. His laughter faded, and his expression sharpened. Then I'll have to test him, see if his creed holds any worth. Khan, go back and relay this. Khan bowed. Please give me your word, Lord Patriarch. I shall give him his first mission. January 1795. At the age of 15, Jin was officially recognized as a 3-star knight. During the first break, cadets either returned home or spent time training individually. Upon advancing to the intermediate class, wooden swords were replaced with real ones, prompting some cadets to order custom-made weapons. Jin, too, needed to find a sword that suited him. Luna, his older sister, had insisted on choosing one for him. A month prior, she had practically begged and pleaded for the chance. Jin had remained silent, contemplating. Well, she does have a better eye for weapons than me. I'm sure she'll make a better choice than I could. That was how he found himself staring at the humongous two-handed sword she now presented. His confusion was evident. This sword was once known as Baal's Slaughterer, Luna explained. I used it when I was your age. So I guess you could say that it's the origin of the Krantel that I use now. She smiled proudly. So, what do you think, Jin? Jin hesitated. Well, big sis, I really appreciate you picking a sword for me, but this doesn't seem quite right. Luna's face fell. I see. That's okay. She forced a chuckle. It was just a joke. Jin wasn't convinced. That didn't feel like a joke. He quickly added, but Baal's Slaughterer is a great sword. It's a bit heavy, but this should be nothing. Luna cut him off. I get it. She sighed. All right, fine. I'll show you a different one. Jin exhaled internally. I thought long and hard about this, Luna continued. What sword would be perfect for you? A blade meant only for you. She turned and picked up a sword with a black sheath. Then it came to me. As she unsheathed the blade, Jin's breath caught. This sword. This is Bradamanti, Luna said. Since you chose Barasada during the selection ritual, I thought this might suit you best. Jin stared in awe. Bradamanti, the brother's sword to Barasada, the very sword the first patriarch wielded. Luna smirked. I take it you like it? Of course, big sis. This is an amazing sword, even among all the masterclass weapons in our clan. To think she personally chose Bradamanti for me. Barasada and Bradamanti were legendary blades, known for their affinity with spiritual energy. If Jin had tried to claim this sword himself, his older siblings would have fiercely opposed it. He looked at Luna with gratitude. Big sis, Bradamanti is a sword my older brothers and sisters also covet. For you to pick it for me, I don't know how I can ever repay you. Luna smiled softly. You don't need to repay me. Then, her expression turned melancholic. Jin, you still feel uneasy around me, don't you? He shook his head. No, that's not it. I promise. Really? But I'm already sad. You'll have to console your big sister's sad heart. Jin blinked. What do you mean, big sis? Close your eyes, she instructed. We'll start training. Okay, you know what I'm about to say, right? Yes. She nodded. Then I'll teach you one more thing. What is it? That among the siblings constantly trying to crush each other, you'll also have siblings who love you unconditionally. Make sure you engrave that into your heart. Jin clenched his fists. And don't make your big sister sad anymore. His voice trembled. Yes, I understand. I'm sorry. Luna's smile turned bittersweet. Even before you were born, I was already lonely among our kin. I'm hoping that you won't be lonely like me, which is why I'm doing this. I hope you'll understand. Jin met her gaze, determination filling his eyes. I understand, big sis. Good. Then let's resume training. A gentle breeze passed between them as Luna whispered, "My dear little brother, look with your mind's eye." Later, in the palace, Jin unsheathed Bradamante, watching the blade gleam under the light, and asked, "How is it?" Across from him, Murakin scoffed. "Put it back." Jin looked up, confused. "What? You still lack control over your spiritual energy." Jin frowned. To wield Bradamante properly, you need at least 3-star spiritual energy, Murakin continued. But you're still a 2-star brat. You can barely imitate the sword's awakening. Jin's grip tightened. I feel like I'm close to reaching 3-star energy, though. I should be able to use it soon. Murakin slammed his book shut. That's a cocky attitude. Jin raised an eyebrow. "Listen, Brad." Murakin stood, palming his head. Barasada and Bradamante aren't swords you can just use willy-nilly. He grabbed Jin's head, shaking it. 3-star spiritual energy is the bare minimum. Until you reach at least 5 stars, use it as an ordinary sword. Got it. Jin swatted his hand away. But I'm not that patient. What if I reach 5 stars by the end of the year? The veins on Murakin's forehead bulged. Even if you won first place in a child's spiritual energy contest and ate nothing but spiritual energy instead of food, you still could never do that. This is all because I care about you. Now don't say stuff that even a dog would laugh at. If you get it, don't be stubborn. Before he could finish, Jin snatched his book and said, "What was that about a kid?" "Hey!" Murakin gasped. "Put that back." Jin held it up threateningly. Gilly burst into the room. "Young master." Jin turned. "Gilly? What's wrong?" She caught her breath. "Instructor Garen is looking for you. He normally would come in person, but he said you need to meet him directly. He needs to explain the mission plan with maps." "Mission?" Jin tilted his head. "What mission?" Gilly straightened. "Instructor Garen has assigned you your first mission. You'll depart as soon as the break is over." Jin's eyes widened. "Already? That's fast. I just reached 3-star swordsmanship, but to be sent out immediately? That's strange." Gilly continued. "Normally, beginner cadets don't receive missions this early. It's rare." Jin hummed. "Maybe it's because my transfer has been confirmed." He nodded. "I'll go check it out. Wait here with Murakin, Gilly." "Yes, young master." Inside the instructor's office, Jin entered. "Garen, I heard I was assigned a mission." The instructor greeted him. "Welcome, young master." Garen slid a document across the table. "You and 9 other beginner cadets have been assigned a scouting mission near the southern border of Zon Kingdom. The cadets will be split into 2 groups. Zon Kingdom." Jin muttered. "That's near the land of the beast men." His eyes scanned the marked areas, close to White Wolf tribe territory. His brows furrowed. This isn't a mission for beginners. Something fell off, not to mention that it's being assigned much earlier than normal. This is highly difficult for a first mission. On top of that, his group consisted of cadets from the bottom half of the class, plus Bellup, who had inconsistent grades. Was this orchestrated? Then it clicked. If my fight with Bellup reached my father's ears, is this his way of testing me? Jin's eyes gleamed. "Fine, father. I'll show you clearly. My creed will not waver." 4 days later, at the southern border, Jin announces, "The goal of this mission is to search for the successor of the Zon Kingdom's Bill clan, Simberbill. As soon as we arrive, we'll set up base camp in the central region of the border. Once camp is established, each division will begin their search. Report your findings once a day by sending 1 person back to camp. From this point forward, do not call me young master. Address me as captain. The injured will stay in camp and get adequate rest. That is all. Let's hope our target is alive. A cadet calls out, Captain, Captain. Agents of the Watertail tribe are approaching. Jin responds, the Watertail tribe? They're the type to evade predators, and they have docile personalities. There's no danger of encountering any members of the White Wolf tribe. Then, turning to Bellup, he continues, our relocation will be delayed due to the snow, so leave for the base 2 hours earlier and relocate to the 13th zone. Bellup responds, affirmative, Captain. Jin then addresses the rest of the group. Everyone else will search the 13th zone. In unison, they reply, yes, Captain. Jin thinks to himself, something feels off. This mission is directly under my father's orders, but it's going too smoothly. Was I wrong in assuming this was a test? Just then, members of the Watertail tribe approach them. One of them tosses a fish toward Jin and says, you guys look like beggars. Pity, eat, present. Jin accepts it and responds, all right, thanks. I'll make sure to return the favor one day. He then contemplates, if we go past the 13th zone, we'll be in Beastmen territory. As beginner training class cadets, we can't fight them. There's no need to stress myself over getting results. I'll finish searching the area over the next 4 days. At that moment, Bellup comes sprinting toward Jin, yelling, young master. Jin immediately asks, what is it, Bellup? Bellup, panting, says, the 2nd Division was ambushed. Jin calls out, everyone get ready to move out. Bellup, what's the situation? Currently, the 2nd Division has scattered and fled. One of the escapees arrived at base camp and reported the attack. Bellup explains. Were they ambushed by beastmen? Jin asks. No, Captain. They were humans. Only 3 were confirmed, but with just 3 of them. Bellup trails off. Jin interjects. They wouldn't have ambushed just like that. There must have been more of them. Eddington and Dave go to the camp and scout the area. If you spot the enemy, do not engage. Report back to me immediately. Yes, Captain, they respond. Jin thinks there are too many unknowns in this ambush. One, the world is their objective. If they want to strike a decisive blow, why target the 2nd Division instead of my own? Moments later, Jin and his squad arrive at the site of the ambush. Blood stains the snow. Jin says they were already attacked. Jin thinks to himself, I will make them pay for messing with Run Candle. Bellup gasps, young master. The blood. No way. Mesa of the 2nd Division. Is she dead? Jin stays calm. Relax, Bellup. The blood hasn't hardened yet. There are no corpses or bits of flesh. There was a battle here, but the 2nd Division managed to flee. Seeing the footsteps, there was only one ambusher. A cadet named Sierra kneels and examines something. Young master, I found used bandages. They look like Huphester products. Good work, Sierra. Where did you find them? On the west side, she replies. Jin pieces it together. That means the 2nd Division was ambushed, tended their wounds here, then detected another threat and fled west. He orders, Sierra, go with Eddington and David to report the current situation. Bellup, let's move. Yes, young master, Bellup affirms. After tracking the footprints, they arrive at a concealed location. Hiding behind a tree, Bellup whispers, young master, it's the 2nd Division. Jin nods. Yes, but Mesa isn't with them. And there's one more enemy in ambush now. He leans in and whispers, Bellup, close your eyes for a moment. After 2 seconds, strike the guy on your left. Understood. Jin recalls a lesson from Uraken. Anything wrapped in spiritual energy gains increased cutting and destructive power, while its presence becomes harder to detect. He throws a dagger infused with spiritual energy at one of the ambushers, catching him off guard. In that instant, Bellup emerges from the shadows, ready to strike. The ambusher barely reacts in time to block, but Jin appears behind him and drives his blade into the enemy's back. Stepping on the fallen enemy's head, he asks the cadets, is everyone all right? One cadet responds, we're okay, but they took Mesa. We don't have any information on their identities, young master. Jin says that's enough. You guys should prioritize recovering. The ambusher underfoot winces in pain and says help. Jin turns to the wounded ambusher on the ground. Are you asking me to spare you? He narrows his eyes. Seeing as you care about your life, it seems you aren't a stupid, zipful underling. I'll give you two choices. 1. Tell me your affiliation, objective, and base location, and I will only kill one of you. 2. Keep your mouth shut, and I will ensure that everyone affiliated with you dies. I am a man of my word. My name is Jin Runcandle, and I swear this on my clan's name and honor. The man trembles and says, I understand. Please, guarantee the safety of my family. I am a member of the revolutionary organization known as Kinzalo. Jin's eyes narrow. Kinzalo, isn't that the terrorist group that was active until my death? They slaughtered an entire kingdom's royal family and ravaged the citizens. They called themselves revolutionaries, but their goal was to make their own king rule the world. So your objective is to create chaos in the Zon kingdom? Jin asks. I'm just a low-ranking member, so I wasn't told much. Although I don't know our main base's location. I do know that my active camp is near the entrance to Beastmen territory. There are approximately 20 knights and magicians, all at least 4-star rank. Jin presses, why did you take Mesa? For our declaration of revolution, the man stammers. They ordered us to capture all female cadets alive. A cadet clenches his fists. Dirty bastards. Jin exhales sharply. That is all I needed to hear. I shall keep my promise. In an instant, he slashes the man's throat. The body collapses lifelessly into the snow. Jin turns to his squad. How long has it been since Mesa was taken? Bellup replies, soon. It will be an hour. Jin's expression hardens. Then they'll still be near the entrance to Beastmen territory. After recovering, request reinforcements from the main clan house. A cadet protests, what? Young master, are you going alone? There were at least 24-star knights. Handling this alone is impossible. Another cadet says, we are merely cadets. Death during missions often occur. So please. Jin replies firmly, it's just as you said, Scott. But in this situation where a cadet has been taken captive, we cannot have the son of Runcandle doing nothing. I am much stronger than you think, so follow my orders. Any further defiance will be considered disobedience. Then, turning to Bellup, he adds, with the 2nd Division injured, you are the strongest among the remaining cadets. Keep yourself together. Understood. Bellup nods. I'll keep that in mind, young master. Without another word, Jin sprints toward the Beastmen territory, thinking to himself, please, I hope I'm not too late. Thanks for tuning in to No Limit Recaps. If you enjoyed today's recap, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to avoid missing any of our future videos. If you want this manhwa's next part, drop it in the comments. Got a favorite manhwa or a series you want me to cover next? Drop it in the comments below. Your suggestions keep this channel growing. You can also join our Discord for more updates, sneak peeks, and manhwa discussions. Until next time, stay limitless.